Hi, hello, hello. We are reading some more Yugami-san. We had a really nice chapter last time. We got a little closer with Nogami-san. We felt a little more secure in maybe the future of the fortune-telling club. I mean, the handicrafts club. Lots of fun little scenes. We got to see Yugami-kun back at his beloved DIY. But many questions still kind of open to the future. It's like nobody's situation has really been resolved. So I'm curious to see where they'll go from here. It looks like the next chapter was starting right at the beginning of the cultural festival. Kitahoshi Schools Festival is what this banner says. And then over here, it's like above shop occasion, Raibufusu. Raibufusu. Raibufesu? Live Fest. We got there. Live. So that's like a concert. So this is called Watanuki Chihiro Ponders the Question. And I wonder what question she's pondering. I mean, like, I think there's kind of two ways to read this series. You can either be hoping for the relationship or not. Or I suppose there's a whole spectrum of how much you care about that plot line. But for me, I'd kind of like to see them end up together. I really enjoy their kind of dynamic, and I think they could be really good for one another. So with those goggles on, with my very rare het shipping goggles that I've never even worn before, I want to think that she's pondering the question of how do I feel about Yugami-kun, as we see in this title page where everyone else in the school has been reduced to just shades. You see? She's not paying attention to any of them. She's staring only at Yugami-kun. She's got some sort of flashback here. The chapter is starting in flashback, but not very well situated in any particular time. This is just something that had happened at some point. Chihiro-san was cleaning on her own. The people that were supposed to be helping her were just chatting and laughing. This is like a problem that we know she's encountered before, where she kind of becomes the gopher of a group. She's always left with tasks and stuff that people just don't really take her seriously. They don't really appreciate her as a person. So she comes back in the classroom and here's Yugami-san, with the classic Yugami-san expression on his face, sitting there. After all of the other desks, or the vast majority of the other desks, have been inverted. Clean the pond. Why did you stop part way? 5 people on classroom cleaning duty. Divide the cleaning area into equal parts, it would be like this. So he's already done his part. I like the little hiragana face people. It's like a traditional thing that you draw on dummies or scarecrows or anything else. It's just like a non-face face. It's pretty fun. So yeah, I feel like we've seen pretty much this entire situation before, where Yugami-san has done this. He's only cleaned part of the classroom and said, all right, I've done my part, that's it. I already finished cleaning my section. Isn't something you just do your own section of, the teacher will get mad at you. It's okay if she gets mad at the people slacking off. So he's totally fine with getting yelled at. As long as everyone is getting yelled at. Because he knows that he's fine. He knows that he actually did his part. So he's not going to help out to get those other guys off the hook. He's done his part. Taking too long schooling. Just want to go home already. Yugami-san cleaning the classroom just now. He's only cleaning his own desk. He might as well just clean everything while he's at it. That guy really can't read the mood. Well, yes, that is a theme of the story. Is that people will misinterpret Yugami-san's inaction or his stubbornness or whatever as simply not knowing what to do. Like not reading the room, so to speak. Not kind of fluently segueing himself and integrating himself into the social situation. And it's almost like they're doing him a kindness by assuming it's out of ignorance, that he's just like a weird guy or whatever. And not what it really is, which is very deliberate choices made based on what he adamantly believes is the correct ideology. So, yeah. And what is Chihiro thinking? Hearing Yugami slandered this way. By read the mood, do they mean he should just become a convenient person for everyone else? Yes. That's really what they're thinking. Even though they'd never put it in so many words. They're not they're saying that he should submit himself to the greater social pressures. She blocks it out. She doesn't want to hear this about Yugami-san. Ah, a terrible dream. It was just a dream. But that scenario has basically happened time and time again, so I'm sure it's not from nothing, this dream. What an awful morning. What a refreshing morning. Swang by to see Subaru-kun, the dog that he's had this weird relationship with for a few years now. A few years? No, wait a minute. The manga starts with them in third year. So not a few years, just some months. He's taught the dog to shake. Fantastic. It's already the last day of the cultural festival, which is surprising. We've kind of leapt deep into this arc, but whatever. Good afternoon. Oh, I called it Kita-hoshi. I was thinking North Star, but it's Kami-hoshi. Above star. Well, whatever. Good afternoon, it's the Handicrafts Club. Puppet show will begin in the afternoon. So I suppose that she must have been performing the puppet show on previous days of the cultural festival too, I would imagine. So the fact that she's still doing it is a good sign. It means that it wasn't a total disaster. So cute. It's the Handicrafts Club. Like, please head on site to look at our exhibit. Oh, it's working! It's working! The puppet show is attracting people. They go in and all the decorations look real cute. They want to try making them. Oh, look at her with her patchwork dress, her little apron that she made herself. I guess it's more of a dress than an apron. This movement she does too to enter into their conversation. So slick. And then this face she makes after listening in on them. Oh my god, I've never seen her make a face like that. That's much closer to a Yugami-kun face. Except Yugami would never be like looking at something with interest. He'd be like eyes dead ahead. And doing that little triangle mouth that I can't replicate because I'm a human being and not an anime character. Some responses. Just as I thought, standing out gets you far. Get weeded out if we're not assertive. I like that the puppet is saying this. Good job serving the customers, Yugami-san. And it's easier to talk through a puppet. Shelf is nice and easy to use too. Nice. Yugami-kun worked hard making it after all. Oh, look at her happy face. Look at this. This is how she pictures him. This is what she thinks of when she imagines him. And it was the same when she was wandering around the festival and she saw the candy making booth. She pictures him hard at work. I don't know why that's so moving to me. I think it's just because, I mean, you know, I have my own personal feelings and my own personal connections with people, and this is something that I find too. That there's a lot of people that I really, really love. And when I think of them in a loving way, when I think of them and my heart feels full of happiness and love and appreciation for them. That's how I picture them, as hard at work. That to me is so appealing. Someone concentrating, someone working hard at something they love. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Why? The sound of the happy festival. I think this is the last chapter in this volume too. I get minor spoilers going to the chapter list, of course, but all of the chapter titles are quite nondescript, so yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen here. It seems like the fact that the chapter is starting with these moments, which are usually kind of the sentimental end pieces that kind of linger on at the end of a chapter, but the fact that it's starting with it now, I don't know, this seems to indicate something. So here's some fun at the cultural festival. Oh my god, I wish I could go to a cultural festival. I suppose it could happen. My friends that teach English in Japan will go to the cultural festivals of the schools that they teach at. I don't want to teach English in Japan though. It seems like a whole lot. Maybe there's some other way I can do it. I have no idea. But yeah, Yugami-kun, kind of into it. All the appeal of a normal festival, but with all sorts of other crazy stuff going on too. Right? That's a cultural festival. That meat looks really good, doesn't it? Those skewers. Okay, got it. Alright, so clearly he's not working at the yakisoba stand. I don't know if that's because he's retired from club activities or he just doesn't want to. I don't think he did at all in the previous year. He was just busy with his Rakugo show. Hey, wait a minute. I guess there has been more than 1 year that's passed in this series, right? Because they've had a cultural festival already. Yeah. No, for sure. They were in second year before. Yeah, what am I saying? They were in second year before. Okay, alright, sorry. Woo, yeah, because Cheer had all those senpai and... Ah, I'm sorry. Please don't have already closed the video. I hope. Ever since I made that egregious error, and you're like, this person has no idea what they're talking about. Alt F4. No, okay, I remembered. Oh my gosh. So yeah, here's the yakisoba stand. Here's that other catcher chowing down. Have you come to buy the baseball club's yakisoba? See ya! This greedy goes, yo, it's so good too. I wonder what he's got in his hand there. It looks like a little book. Maybe it's the guide for the festival. Usually they make things like that. It's just like a listing of booths and stuff. Not selling any for some reason. His cooking is sloppy. Wait, is it the demerit log? Is he still keeping up the demerit log of all the shortcomings of the baseball club's team? The Culture Club Work Showcase. It's his best friend. He wrote a column. He's becoming a writer and not just a novelist, just like Yugami-kun suggested. The Broadcasting Club is screening a movie. This is, of course, it is, isn't it? The girl that had a crush on him briefly had led to all sorts of shenanigans and such, and is now good friends with Chihiro-san. So he's crossing stuff off the list. It looks like he's going for full completionist route. So it's not out of rudeness that he's saying, I'm only watching the first 5 minutes. He's saying, I only have time to watch the first 5 minutes. I'm too lazy to read what this thing says. So then he's hitting the haunted house, I guess. The haunted house looks really scary. It's like 50-50 when they do these cultural fest things. Whether it's going to be the trope of, oh, the haunted house is legitimately scary, and it's going to lead to all of those oh, we're scared together type tropes. Or the haunted house is like a joke, and it leads to the really underwhelming type jokes and stuff. So, which will it be this time? Here we see Yugami-kun confidently striding through this crowd. I think he's just going to speedrun the haunted house. I'm telling you, it's funner that way. Is this Watanabe? Yeah, I think this is Watanabe, right? Because it's perfectly in line in character that he's trying to go with a girl. Yugami! Whoa, it's Yugami! It's hilarious. It really is. He never changes. This is kind of cool. It's like, after all these years, it's not like they've changed their opinion on him. But it's kind of interesting. I've known people like this, who, they annoy you, you know, for whatever reason. Maybe some people just annoy you. And it's like, they don't change, and you don't change, and they don't stop being annoying. But after a while, the things that annoy you about them start to become, like, funny? It's like you see them again, and you're like, wow, this person still is talking this way. This person still won't shut up about whatever. You know, this person still is obnoxious in X, Y, and Z ways. And for some reason, it's like reassuring, and it becomes endearing to me. It's like, ah, yeah, of course. So I think that's what's happening with Yugami-kun and all these girls. They've come around to the point where it's like, ah, of course. I like Watanabe's face here. It's very like classic 90s Rumio type rom-com face. Except that he would be the protagonist if he's making that face. But our protagonist is back here with a totally scrunched up, uninterested face. Ah, he's so great. This guy isn't brushing people off like he used to. He's reacting mildly to the girls. Really is because of baseball, huh? Yeah, he is doing a little bit better. And he's going to the after party. Really? Whoa, he's even going to the after party. That surprises me. I don't know what the heck that after party is going to be, but here we see the Historical Research Society. Not just because I recognize those club members, but because I read their banner. Actually, I don't know what the first character means here. The second character is history. The first character I'm pretty sure is like calendar. So maybe the two of those together are a compound that also means history, in the same way that the second ones are like sharpen and research, but I know together they just mean research. The sharpening, I guess, is like metaphorical. Anyways, so yeah, the girls are excited, even though they don't really know how to get along with him. They're excited that he's going to be there, just for the idea of it. To hell with friends and bonds, so shameless. Even though he used to give stuff like that shit before. It's getting sentimental because this is the end. They want to make memories. I don't know. I don't think Yugami-kun has changed so much. I think it's just that people are treating him differently. And I don't know. The fact that he's going to the party really throws me, though. And I guess probably before he didn't really participate in the cultural festival much. Like, that was kind of a revelation to him, that it could be actually pretty fun. So he was probably the type to just, you know, work in the yakisoba booth, do his rakugo last year, of course. Why are you sticking up for him? If you're in trouble, not a single one of them would come to your aid. On the other hand, we will come to help you. But why, you ask? Because we're friends. Nice little cult they have going here. The Historical Research Gang. I'm into it. They're nice characters. So, Buck? What? I'm shocked. I've never seen a swear that scandalous in the series. I've seen like shit a few times, I think. But this is the first time I've seen someone say the F-bomb in Yugami-san. So whatever. Also notice that I say totally at random. I'll call him either Yugami-kun, Yugami-san, or just Yugami. But I never call him by his first name. I don't know what this means. I've just noticed that I do it. And even I'll refer to the manga as all three of those, even though the title is very clearly Yugami-kun, Niwa Tomodachi ga Inai. Ah. So the closing party, the after party, I guess, is a campfire. That's very traditional. We've seen that in all sorts of manga, so I assume it's traditional. Which again, very, very romantic. The scene of many a confession. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up too much because it's not like the series to rush into things. Not that they've been rushing, but there'll definitely be some major kind of introspective chapters before we get some change. That is true. However, they will all be there. And above all, I don't want everyone in class to speak ill of me. Well, that's quite a good concern. That's like, you can tell he's actually really being considerate on a few levels here. If he's the only one absent, yeah, they might talk shit about him. They might wonder, what's wrong with that guy that he won't show up? They might think it's insulting. They might assume that he thinks he's above such things. And basically the rest of the historical research group is saying that they are above such things, but he doesn't want to be thought of that way. And maybe this is sad, maybe this is showing the immense social pressure that grinds out individuality, but at the same time it shows someone who's blossoming, for better or worse, into that society. I don't know. So they're arguing and stuff. Yugami-kun, without them noticing at all, grabs the pamphlet that they've made. I don't know, did he do the haunted house, do you think? But yeah, he's accomplishing his speed run of the cultural festival. And Yugami-kun was at a movie screening earlier. Ah, so she's helping out with the handicrafts club. Because I guess they probably need a few more people for the puppet show. I love the little sign they made. Very cute. Seems to be in a hurry. I wonder what he's doing. He's trying to see every club's exhibits. Yep. You got it. I don't know if it's true, though. He's quick to do stuff like that. Accurate. Oh, she knows him so well at this point. If you're a mysterious aesthetic coming from Yugami-senpai's actions, it's possible he's being influenced by someone. Oh, what could did this mean? Influenced by someone. I don't know. I don't think that's it. To me, it's that he just has decided the cultural festival is worth doing, and he's gonna face it seriously, like he does everything. So that means seeing the whole dang festival. Why not? Alright, so he's playing pachinko, which he was terrible at the big festival. Oh, but he's starting to get the hang of it. So this is his grandpa, of course. This is very, very rare that Yugami-san will flashback like this, will think about his youth. But he remembers his grandfather playing pachinko. And everyone's busy looking at the fireworks, so now's the time to play. Very, very Yugami-esque. He says, that's a richi, which of course is a mahjong term. And it just means reach. But I'm not sure what it applies to here. It looks like he got some sort of jackpot. He filled in all the 7 holes. Beautiful. Oh, isn't this great? The grandfather and the grandson. The grandson absorbing every part of this lesson. But this is what's beautiful, not the huge booming fireworks behind them. The little sister freaking out because she can't see anything. She can just hear the fireworks and hear everyone shouting. How sad. How sad. Hey, also, this person seems to have an iPhone-style smartphone right above the grandfather's head. What's up with that? How could that be chronologically possible if this is taking place, like, I don't know, like 10 or 11 years ago? Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't care anymore. Okay, anyways. So he checks off another booth. Man, he really was a weird old man. Look who's talking. Look who's talking. And of course, there was a few chapters ago, a pretty beautiful scene with Chihiro and Yugami during the fireworks, where Yugami made kind of an unprecedented movement. He said boldly and clearly, "Thank you." Of course, it was drowned out by the fireworks, as is rom-com tradition, but it was still a pretty pivotal moment. And now, thinking back to another fireworks moment, this almost seems like a metaphor to say, nah. Clearly, Yugami was, this is like the last thing on his mind. These are the associations he still has. This is the way he's doing things. I want some friends. Then tame. What the heck? What is this play? You're nothing more than one of 100,000 boys. Just one mere person. Doesn't the same go for you? Prince, you told me there's only one flower. Time you spent for your rose is cherished that much by that rose. So she's doing all the narration, and Nogami-san and Watanabe-san are just playing the puppets. Time you spent for your rose is cherished that much by that rose. This feels like very... Is this the Little Prince? I think this is the Little Prince. Yeah? I think so. Right? Yeah, I think they're doing the Little Prince. And went, wow, look! Oh, they're so happy! They're so happy, I'm so happy. Yugami-kun looks hella critical. He's got beef with the plot. He's got beef with the narration. He's got beef with the pacing. He's got beef with the resolution. Oh! No, that's what he's thinking. I should have made that stage a little more spacious. He's so considerate. In the end, he's so considerate. I just love these shots. They're so exhausted. They're so relieved. Everyone clapping and cheering. It's just so rare that something like unilaterally happy happens for Chihiro. You know, normally everything is 3 layers deep and all sorts of drama and tension, and even when she resolves one problem, it just sort of reinforces how lost she is in other situations. But in this moment, she had a plan. It worked. She's so happy. Is it the Little Prince? Yeah, I think it's the Little Prince. She was very easy to use. And I'm glad. Tsugi. I wonder what he was doing all day the previous day, if this is the final day of the cultural festival. I feel like he didn't budget his time very well. It was probably like halfway through the second day that he's like, actually, it seems kind of fun. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Wow, that felt awful. What the heck was that? Where did that even come from? It was like a deep guttural cough. I felt like I was gonna lose a lung. Ugh. Alright, at least it wasn't that aggravating. Like, I don't feel like it hurt my throat or anything. It was just surprisingly deep. Okay. So we cut to Yugami-kun's family. I wonder, he's exactly like his grandfather. Don't think he'll attend something like that. Yuji is Yuji. He's a different person. It's not the same as his grandfather. So it's the big bonfire that we've seen time and time again at the end of cultural festivals. It really is a beautiful image to me. I like fire. Now that sounds creepy. I like campfires. I like watching a fire. I like being around people and a fire. You know, I grew up with a little cottage that my family owns that we go up to throughout the summer, and yeah, quite often we'd have campfires, big groups of people sitting around, very scattered conversation, mostly just kind of taking in the atmosphere. And I feel like there's always a sense of things coming to the end with the fire. It's like the last thing you do in the day. You're tired, you've been outside probably all day, probably been working on something. And you just sit here and watch it slowly burn. You kind of get this sense that, like, well, when this is over, the day is over. When this is over, I'll go to bed. And for the cultural festival, I feel like it's the same sort of message. We worked really, really hard on this. On top of everything else we've been doing in school, we went the extra 115% to get all of this done together as a class. We spent all day celebrating what we did and seeing what others did and appreciating the efforts of the entire school. And now it's all over. We're not going to literally burn all of our stands and burn all of our decorations and stuff, but the fire will stand in for all of it. And Yugami-kun, in this setting, in this crowd, look at all these little things. There's two girls hugging back there. Oh, it's just too much. What will our wonderful protagonist be up to? No, what? Huh? Wait a minute. Oh, I guess it is that one. Oh. I was a little confused. I thought for a second, just for a second, that he had made his own. But his solution was, well, you know, I gotta see the bonfire. That's a big part of it. So I'm just gonna make my own. Because it looks so much smaller. I just kind of lost the perspective between these panels. But yeah, it's only 4 logs high. It's actually not that big. So yeah. Alright. I was a little thrown there, but this makes sense. Completed the cultural festival. He checked off every booth. Going around looking at every club's attractions after all. Put the handicrafts program in the top 10% in quality. Hey! Wow! That means a lot coming from him. Because you know he's not the type to just say that. And the fact that he said top 10%, you know, he's not saying top 25%. He's not saying it was good. But he's actually slotting it up there. Found some girls who might join. Yugami-san was relieved too. Good for you! Wow! He's being like actually so kind right now. There's no second layer to any of this. He's speaking honestly to her. Yeah, I've had enough fun for one day. I don't know. I can't expect too much. And he's already gone. I think she wanted him to be in the photo with the handicrafts club, right? Because he actually did so much for them. It's true. He built the stage. He built all sorts of stuff for them earlier. Probably a little too much. He's just gone. Oh, it's not the classic turn around and he's totally gone. She still sees him. He's walking out the gate right now. Will she call to him? Will she try to stop him? Oh. He's not good with sentimental things like this anyways. He gets shy at the weirdest times. That really is it, isn't it? In many ways, he's just very, very shy. And who can blame him? Because if you never do that stuff, if you never participate in sentimental cry outs or picture taking or reminiscing or things like that, it's not going to come naturally to you necessarily. It's going to feel really, really awkward. And if you have any sort of shyness in your body, it's towards those sorts of situations. I think that's it. Yeah. He's shy. Come, you left already? Normally stay. I wanted a picture with everyone in it. Yeah. Big class picture too, right? Everyone's taking pictures. Isn't that cold, even though this is the end? I thought I could get along with him. Make a difference whether or not he's here. And Chihiro thinking way back to her dream, right? Thinking back to the sort of things that people said about him. And when people say, I thought I could get along with him, you know, that's saying a lot. That's like saying hope springs eternal. they still care about him. He's still their classmate. And history club guy whose name escapes me, Ryota-kun. People say all sorts of things behind your back in gatherings. I hate it even if it's not about me. I need you to call right now. Yeah, he shut his mouth! Oh! Oh, I'll never get tired of it. I love it so much when he threw his phone. Oh, that was the best. So yeah, class photo -1. That's just how it is. That guy's got a few screws loose. He's fucking that head. That's probably it has to be. Maybe it's for Yagashi-kun's sake. You wouldn't be able to say that in front of Yagashi-kun. It's not right. Oh, and here's one of my favorite characters. She really is. I can't think of her name right now because I'm a false fan, I guess. But no, I really, really like this girl, who of course has had so many ups and downs throughout the series, who I think has been put through the ringer worse than almost anyone. But really, in the end, tries to be a good person, I think. You know, I really admire her in a weird way. Like here, she's reaching out to Chihiro-san, who's really pretty freaking out about this. I'm not sure why she's freaking out so much in this moment. Always been thinking this for a while now. Does read the moon mean that he should be a person that suits everyone? So, then you're the one with screws loose. Stop bad-mouthing my friend with everyone. Oh, my friend! Has she ever referred to him like that before? I'm not sure if she has. My friend. Oh, and that's it. That's the end of the volume. My friend. Wow, I can't believe she's done this. She stood up for him. She stood up for herself, really, as someone who has read the mood that she should be the one doing all the cleaning, and then does all the cleaning. who read the mood when the baseball senpais were mad at her, and she was all willing to agree to write the letter of apology. She reads the mood all the time, and where has it gotten her? It's been a continual struggle for her to, lay claim to her own desires, to act in her own interests. And not just the mood of the room, not just this social pressure to submit, to play her role. And through all of this, her inspiration has been Yugami-kun, her friend. Okay. There's still some pages, I guess little bonus things. An omake. Just actually looking this way. Staring right up at Chihiro. Chihiro freaking out, has no idea how to respond to this. Timidly waves. Wow! Of course, yeah, we saw this earlier. That the grandma thinks that he was looking at her. This leads to a huge misunderstanding, which gets brought up a few chapters ago. And then Chihiro is freaking out because she thinks that he was actually looking at grandma, but Fujisawa-san has observed the whole thing, and of course has effortlessly put together the reality of the situation. Yes. I feel like she might end up being a key instigator in any sort of romantic development that does happen. If it happens, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. This alone was enough. Her saying, my friend. Stop bad-mouthing my friend with everyone. That's it. If that's the climax of their relationship together, I don't know. I think they're gonna end up like moving in together or something. Like her mom will go back to live with the dad overseas, and Yugami-kun will move in, something like that. Nah, that's too crazy. Nah, I don't know. That's too crazy. Oh, what a lovely chapter. Please read this after finishing the log. Okay, good. So this is the cute cheerleader he likes. They asked him about during the game. He's like, isn't the answer to that obvious? Which I thought was really good. Coach has been playing favorites now more than ever. Amanda earns the animosity of his teammates. Amanda, who's returning the animosity he feels in the air. Alright, so this is the downward spiral that he was caught in before he actually kind of broke through, and he was able to connect with the rest of his team during that game. So that was a little happy ending too, even though we didn't see the full dismay behind it. Just that one line he had about, isn't it obvious what happened? So it looks like he was a pretty shitty boyfriend. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. This is when they actually connect. When he breaks down. His teammates were shocked. Boys thought you were an amazing guy. You're always working twice as hard as everyone else during practice. I know it's not just pure talent. When things get tough, I get a sense of security just by you being there. That's how Nanda started to get along with his teammates. Friendship! She was in the stands secretly cheering for him. Whoa. Oh yeah, so Watanabe's group was up there too. Chihiro down with the more diehard fans and Yugami-san's family. Okay, so that's the end of the penultimate volume. We just have one more volume to read. Here we have a little message from Sakura Jun, the mangaka behind this wonderful series. It is thanks to all the reader support that the series was serialized for this long. I'm truly fortunate as a mangaka to be able to write this story to the end. I'm going to give it my all until the very end. So obviously, this message was written for the penultimate volume, which came out sometime during the serialized chapters for the final volume. So they know that it's ending. They're saying goodbye to the fans here. I mean, of course, the final goodbye will come in the next volume, but goodbyes are on the mind. All right. I think that's all. I don't know if I want to go... Oh, there's one more page. Oh, there's yet another little bonus. Maybe this is the inside flap. Nanda makes up with Nanako, his girlfriend. Yugami's best friend returns, this time with an article he wrote or something. Everyone tried standing on it. Going to visit the fortune-telling club. It's fabulous. Kaori revenge. She's doing well for herself. She's got all sorts of strats and things to make herself look super, super cute in case she needs someone during the cultural festival. I hope she gets a happy ending too. She hasn't been the focus of the plot for quite a while, but I think they'll give her a chance to be happy in the end. That would be nice at least. Okay. That's all. Here's the final volume, which of course I've seen before, because it's the one that shows up on the mangas page. Yeah, only 4 more chapters, legitimately, and then a collection of extras. So, not much more. Not much more. Oh my gosh, not much more. These must be long chapters too. They constitute the entire volume in 4 chapters. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, bye.